This is Bishop Okonkwo. He used to be the president of PFN in Nigeria. What is PFN? PFN means Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. Yeah. Pentecostal Fellowship. So he used to be the president of all of them. He used to even be the president over Adeboye, Oyedepo, and all of them. As a matter of fact, he was the president even when Idahosa was still alive. So he was the president, and he is now confessing what they used to do. And what he used to confess, what he was confessing is that they used to use tithe and offering to manipulate people. And it is fear they put in people. This is the president of the old PFN in Nigeria, Pentecostals. That it is fear we used to just manipulate people. And if not because people like me or that the frees are coming out to now challenge that old doctrine of tithe and offering and everything, the thing would have continued. The man would have confessed. But the confession is coming because people like us are talking. So the more people we have talking against these practices, the more freedom will come to our country. So if people like that, who is used to be the president of all the, he was even president for many years, of all the Pentecostals in Nigeria, he is admitting that they used to use fear to manipulate people just to take their money. Then we all need to talk. We need to talk to help them set them free. So because if they are using is confessing that it is their ministries and their doctrines are based on fear. And what the Bible tells us now, where there is fear like that, there is no love. Because there is no fear in love. So he is now confessing that the old mechanism, all that old structure that the Pentecostals have placed all over Nigeria, he must know. He was their president. He was the president of Adeboye, president of all of them. He must know. And he says it is fear. It is built on fear. So if the old Pentecostal churches in Nigeria is built on fear, then we don't have church. Because fear is the motivating factor of Satan. Fear is the instrument of Satan. And the instrument of God is love. And where there is no fear, they don't live together. It's like light and darkness. Where there is fear, there is no love. When there is love, there is no fear. And now a Pentecostal president is admitting that we build everything on fear and manipulation. Then we don't have church in that country. I know we might have some remnants, but majority of them are just the same. And some of them are still defending their position, that same position up to now. In fact, some of them will be mad at him that he confessed. And I'm sure even when he was confessing, he didn't know that the thing is going to go public. Some people just recorded it by secret and released it. Because just like Adeyemi, my friend, that he said it, he didn't know that he was going to regret. He had to go and withdraw the video. Because all the other guys, the cabals came against him. He had to go and withdraw the video. And this one too, he probably didn't know that the thing is going to go viral. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let it go into the video. Because the cabal is still holding strong to maintaining their empires by fear and manipulation. Let's have a look, please. You see that somebody was recording it secretly. It's a device, telephone recording.
Take your eyes away from people. Can I hear that? Amen. This one is asking his own concern is that I said that people are not under cost because they didn't pay tithe. He said then what is the spiritual implication? Why do you want to give them implication? Leave them alone. The first mention of tithe, there was no cost in it. Abraham gave tithe of all to Melchizedek. That was before the law. There was no tithe, no cost. He did it willingly. Why? Because God gave him massive deliverance. But don't frighten them with cost. I have done that before.
Stop.
I have frightened people
See?
Okay.
Let's stop frightening people with cause, fear. Frightening means fear. Don't frighten them with cause. And I was doing that before. I've done that before. Frightening people with fear. Can you bring that back again? Yes?
No time, no cause. He did it willingly. Why? Because God gave him massive deliverance. But don't frighten them with cause.
Stop.
I have done.
This is the president of all Pentecostals in Nigeria before. Don't frighten people with curse. I have done that before. I was doing that before. Let's stop frightening people with curses. This is the work all Pentecostal churches in Nigeria are doing. And what is frightening? What is fear? There is no fear in love. And in the love, there is no fear. Go back again.
Of tithe, there was no cost in it. Abraham gave tithe of all to Melchizedek. That was before the law. There was no tithe, there was no cost. He did it willingly. Why? Because God gave him massive deliverance. But don't frighten them with cost. I have done that before. I have frightened people because I didn't know any better.
Stop. He said he had frightened people because he didn't know any better. Does that mean that the whole Nigerian church didn't know any better? Because they are still doing it up to today. Adeboye is saying, if you will not pay your tithe, you are under a curse. The same thing Adeboye is saying. Ayo is saying the same thing. So it means all those people that we are referring to as fathers, they don't know better. Fathers don't know better. Maybe, and I believe him. I believe him that he doesn't know better. And I believe that all those fathers don't know better too. How great is our darkness? If the people who are leading us themselves are living in darkness. If the people who are leading, who are the fathers of the land, they themselves are in darkness. How great then is our darkness? And you know, some people used to say, Pastor, I respect your teaching. I agree with all of them, but I cannot believe it that all these men of God, you mean God doesn't speak to them? Only you God they speak to? How can it be that only you God is speaking to? Do you mean that God doesn't speak to all of them? See now, you don't hear. You are not hearing from the fathers now. This is the father. And he's saying that he's knowing better now that you don't use fear or cause to frighten people to give money, to deprive them of their money. But all those so-called fathers that you say God is speaking to, they are still doing the same thing. He says because they don't know better, he didn't know better. It means that the so-called pastors you think God is speaking to, they don't know better. Because they are still doing it. That is at best though. That is at best that they don't know better. But who knows? Maybe they do know better. Maybe they are doing it intentionally. Who knows? So a whole country could be wrong. All the so-called fathers can be wrong. All churches could be in error. All churches could be wrong. All churches could be going to hell. A whole country can be going to hell. Because they don't fear God. They want people to fear them. A whole country could be wrong. So let's go back. Yeah.
There was no cost in it. Abraham gave tithe of all to Melchizedek. That was before the law. There was no tithe, there was no cost. He did it willingly. Why? Because God gave him massive deliverance. But don't frighten them with cost. I have done that before. I have frightened people because I didn't know any better. Frighten the church. If you don't pay your tithe, your pocket will be tight. You know, we can't do
all Nigerian churches are still under that fright, that fear. So it is method. It is the method of management in Africa. It is through fear. They frighten people. It is through frightening people that they are ruling the church. And that is the instrument of Satan. It is Satan that rules in fear. Because fear is darkness. It is Satan that uses darkness to manipulate people. So it means if church is now using darkness and fear, it means that church is the center of darkness. And that's what he's saying. Keep on going, please.
Your pocket will be tight. You know, we conjure all kinds of things.
Stop. We conjure all kinds of things. That is exactly what's going on in African churches. He knows what he's talking about. All the Pentecostals, maybe not all of them, like I said, we always have a remnant. The Pentecostals in Africa, they conjure all kinds of things. It's still going on. So we have to help them to set themselves free. Just like we have helped them now to get a freedom, or whoever helped them, maybe not, maybe somebody else. That's why how we all have to help all of them who are still doing the same thing. All the people who are still using fear to manipulate people, and all the people who are still using manipulation, what is conjure? We conjure all form of things. It means we come up with all kinds of story to manipulate people. Conjure means manipulation. We are manipulating people with all kinds of things to get their money. This is not just an ordinary pastor. This is the president of all Pentecostals in Nigeria. Not for one session, no, for many, many times. Let's reverse it and let's go.
But don't frighten them with cause. I have done that before. I have frightened people because I didn't know any better. Frighten the church. If you don't pay your tithe, your pocket will be tight.
Stop.
You know we can't.
If you don't pay your tithe, your pocket will be tight. You know people are still saying that till today. It's a conjurement. It's something they conjured by themselves. It's not in the Bible. Thank God that he's been able to repent today. Thank God that he's able to retrace his steps. And that is why we must keep on putting pressure on all these pastors so that they will be able to retrace their steps as well. That is what is called tough love. We must love them enough to be able to put pressure on them to repent, for their eyes to open. Somebody say what we are doing is not love. This is real love. If not for that kind of love, people like this would have, their eyes would have been open. They would have come out to confess. Let's go.
You know we conjure all kinds of things.
That's a confession.
We conjure all kinds of
Stop.
semantics.
We conjure all kinds of semantics, which means all kind of grammar, all kind of language, all kind of English, just to get money out of people's pocket. That is a dangerous confession, because all the so-called pastors and the GOs are still doing the same thing up to now. Yes.
In order to get them.
In order to stop. Go back, let me hear that part again.
All kinds of
Stop, let's go back a little bit. Yes?
Oh yes, we control all kinds of semantics in order to get them.
Stop. In order to get them. You know who they are referring to as them? That not the cows. I'm not talking about cattle. He's not referring to pigs. So is it you call them pigs or cattle or cow? He's not referring to a bunch of birds or rabbits. Not sheep, not just some animals in the street, not dogs, in order to get them. That exposes to you right there their attitude towards you all. That exposes to you right there. They just see you as a, what do you call it, cow, milking cow. Is it milking cow we call it? Yeah, they are milking you. They are milking you as a milking cow. In order to get them. So anything it will take, their goal is just to get you. So anything it will take for them to get you is what they will do. If you will take fear, they will put fear in you for them to get you. If it is manipulation, they will put, manipulate you in order for them to get you. It is a dangerous thing. Yes. Just go back a little bit. I want to hear that get them again. Maybe I'm the one making mistake. Is that what he said?
In order to get them. He who refuses to tithe will face a time. And then the people that are frightened to bring tithe and warns that they don't get blessed because they are doing that of.
Okay. They don't get blessed because they are doing that out of fear. That's why the country is getting poorer. Can you now understand why the country is getting poorer now? Can you now understand that the more the Pentecostal churches grow in Africa, the poorer the country becomes? When the Pentecostal movement began their growth in the 80s, the naira was 1 to 1 pound, 1 to 1, and it was more than stronger than $1 to, 1 naira to more than $1. So it was 75 cents, 75 kobo to $1. So it was stronger than dollar. But the more they started growing, the Pentecostal churches started collecting everybody's money. It became, first of all, $1 to $1. Up to today, we have it almost 300 naira to $1. You see? Almost 400 naira. Because the more they collect you and use fear, God will not bless fear, oh. God will not bless manipulation, oh. God will not bless conjuring of people, oh. God, that's why he said it right. That God will not bless people, and the people are not blessed because they are giving out of fear. And people are still giving out of fear till today. And the country is getting poorer. The people are getting poorer. Now we have become the poorest in the world. Just because the churches, because what happens to the church is what happens to the country. As the church goes, so goes the country. Can you go back a little bit?
He who refuses to tithe will face a time.
Stop. And that confession, which they have been doing, he who refuses to tithe will face a tough time. Even those ones who have tithe, they are all facing tough time now in Nigeria. The whole country is facing tough time now because of their lies. And through the mouth, through the confession of their mouth, they have created the fruits of the land, the fruit that we have now. Because the mouth, the tongue of a man is where lies the life or death, the power of life of death or death. So they have spoken death over the country, and now the country is dead. They have prophesied, brought curses on the country. And thank God for him that is bold enough to confess. But the horrible thing about it is that the whole country, all these Pentecostal churches are still doing the same thing. Some of them are still even fighting to defend these pastors and these practices.
And then the people that are fighting to bring tithe and warns that they don't get blessed because they're doing that of fear.
You see?
God wants you to do it for you out of love.
Stop. Beautiful. They don't get blessed, and they are getting, but up to today, people are still being extracted of their money, and they are not being blessed because they are doing things out of fear. God doesn't bless things that are done out of fear like that. God blesses things that are done out of love.
If you have been watching our videos and maybe you enjoy them, maybe you don't enjoy them, but still we need you to help us spread the word. And for that to happen, we only need you to take 5 little steps. Please help us spread this word by liking the video. Then, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We also need you to press the notification button, and the way to do that is to click on the bell. You see the bell there? Click on it. Then, of course, leave your comments. Let's know what you're thinking about each video. And finally, we need you to go and share the word. Share this video on your Facebook timeline, on your Instagram, and every other platform that you have. All right? Let's win the world for Christ. Thank you so much. Peace.